So what we're going to do now is we're going to solve radical equations. And to go through that process, there are 3 steps that we need to understand. The first step is we need to isolate the radical by itself. That means any adding or subtracting or multiplying that's outside the radical needs to be removed. The next thing we need to is raise the equation to the power. That means if it's to a third radical, then we need to raise it to the third power. But most of them can be square roots, so we'll raise it to the second power. And then you just solve what's left over. So let's go through those steps. So the first thing is we have this plus 4 that's outside the radical, that plus 4. That's what they mean by isolate the radical. So first thing I need to do is subtract that 4 to the other side to get my radical x plus 2 by itself, and I have 3. Once I have the radical by itself, I'm going to square both sides of the equation. So by doing that, that gets rid of the radical. That leaves me with an x plus 2, and then 3 squared will give me 9. And then I have basically a simple equation where I can subtract the 2 from both sides, and I'll end up with my answer as x equals 7. And then you do a quick check by putting the 7 into the equation. Make sure you don't have any negatives. So 7 plus 2 plus 4 equals 7. 7 plus 2 is the square root of 9. And the square root of 9 is 3. And 3 plus 4 does equal 7. So it does check out. Alright, let's do another one. Now let's look at our next problem. And we have radicals on both sides, but we can remove one of the radicals by squaring both sides. If we do that, we're going to get x minus 12 on the left. To remove that radical, I'm going to FOIL, and I'm squaring my square x. So I'm going to take 2 minus radical x, 2 minus radical x, and I have to FOIL it. So 2 times 2, which is 4. 2 times a minus x is a minus 2 radical x. And this is a minus 2 radical x, and then radical x times radical x is a positive x. And so if we go ahead and combine like terms, we'll get a 4 minus 4 radical x plus x. Now we only have one radical sign, but now we just remove that one. So I'm going to minus the 4 to both sides, minus the 4, so I get x minus 16 equals, and I'm going to minus the x at the same time. So that gives us actually 0. They thus cancel out. So we have a minus 16 with a minus 4 radical x. So I divide by negative 4, and I'm going to get a positive 4 radical x. So I'm going to square both sides. So I get 16 equals x. So now we'll do a quick check. So if I put radical 16 minus 12 equals 2 minus radical 16, and this is radical 4 equals, let me erase this right here, that should be there. Okay, so we just have a radical 4 on this side. We'll have a 2 minus radical 4, which is 4, and it's not a radical, my fault. It's just a radical 4, which will become 2, and 2 minus 4 is a negative 2. So they don't equal. So this check proves they don't equal, which means there is no solution right now. So no solution.